Gangs, gangs. Being a gang. Why are there gangs? I received a message from a woman, and thank you for the message. And she sent me an interesting message. In the morning, sometimes like, I'll look through my messages in the DMs, but the requested, there's literally hundreds. So I literally just brush through. But this message, I actually took time and I read it. And I'm gonna flip the screen so we can get into this. And it says, "Greetings, young king. I am contacting with a question my grandchild asked me, but I could not answer. They asked, why are there gangs? They said at training they watched two young melanin men who did not know each other and share a bottle of water with each other. One of the guys were new to training, so didn't quite come prepared. I know we can all be funny about drinking from the same bottle as another, but how is two young strangers, both melanin, show an act of kindness? Yet on the other side of the UK, melanin brothers or sisters can show such hate towards each other, for for they show hate to the reflection of themselves that they seem in another. I didn't have any answer, so I thought let me ask you for your take on it. My grandchild has many other thoughts, providing oh, many other providing questions that is okay with you. We would like to ask. So, young king, as a mother and a grandmother, I extend much blessings and love to you. Love to you as well. Thank you for your message. And that one there, I thought, you know what? We actually haven't had a conversation about why are there gangs, because that's so hard. It's a hard question to answer, but I only can answer this in me being in a gang, and me saying me being in a gang. That's what is kind of, you look at it as like the police will look at it, or organizations probation, but we don't look at it like that. We look at it as like a family. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And where we're from. But I only can ask how problems and gang culture can form. So, for example, I'm from the borough of Croydon, I'm from Fulton Heath, and I used to be in a gang called Gypset. So Gypset, Tally, Gypset. I was born in Gypsy Hill, get me? But I moved to Fulton Heath. So Gypset used to involve me, Crept, Conan, and many other, for example. But I only will say the main names so you can have a look at Crept and Conan's career, what they've done, how they've evolved, and amazing things. But before that, all the crazy stuff that happened that led to people passing away, and I'm just gonna say it quiet like straight, just so the younger generation understand this is not a joke. People's been shot in their face, lost their eyes, people has passed away, and many crazy other stuff. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So anyway, being from obviously Fulton Heath, and Gypsy Hill, being born in Gypsy Hill, that's how kind of my group, my gang kind of formed. And obviously we have many stories. You get me? I swear, if there was, I swear you can make a film like with what's happened, and like the wars that's happened in Croydon, the borough of Croydon. So, like I said, I'm from Fulton Heath, and we used to not get on. Our main rivals was DSN Croydon, and it's crazy because me being 36 at the time, do you know what I mean? We was younger than that, 19, and do you know what I'm trying to say? In and out of prison, and to think of it now, our generation, younger generation now is still warring with the same circle, like the same people, but just generations. Do you know what I mean? It's crazy. But anyway, just to answer this, it all, like, sometimes it happens from the area that you're from. So unfortunately, we was like the first of our breed. So we had like older generation. We had the oldest. I used to be called younger Zedda, and I had an older called Zedda. That's big bro. Do you know what I mean? And Zedda even having his name was like protection in the area. And there was a group called DTK, and we was a group called PTK from Fulton Heath, and we used to hang around in Melfort Park, and you get me. And that's kind of, DTK was a group. You might as well say it was a gang, and it was an area, and that's just what it was. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And I remember like coming up in school. I remember when I was in school, before I went to secondary school, I remember just getting bullied, you know, like, Ackhiii, man's always overweight, Ackhiii, tubby, Ackhiii. Do you know what I mean? I used to get bullied in school and whatnot. I remember going to secondary school, it's an all-boys school. And I'm just like, yeah, I ain't taking no check. Like, anyone that chats to me, I'm fighting them. And that was my attitude. And my reputation grew. But back in the day, graffiti, like, we used to write our names on walls, tagging. That's what it was. Like, it was graffiti. And you get me? Like, and that's how we used to get our names out there on the bus and on walls and spray paint. But there was an element as well to kind of the gang stuff as well. So Conan, very successful musician now. The war between DSN and Gypset kind of happened over a hat, a fight over a cap. Like, how silly it sounds, there was a main DSN guy called Dexter. Dexter's had a mad, his life's been mad, innit? You know, when you spend so much years in prison and you have deportation issues, do you know what I'm trying to say? So this is like all of us, we just went to prison and whatnot. But anyway, it happened in the Haley Manor where Conan and Dexter had a fight. Now, obviously, from when they had a fight, we used to always go to Croydon. Croydon was our thing, go to Croydon. But slowly what happened was, there was like, I'll be honest with you, all the people that man kind of oppressed and was just in the area causing mayhem, they kind of formed like a group. Do you know what I mean? And it kind of just got like that, where they formed a group, and that's how kind of DSN kind of formed. And then obviously us started warring with DSN, and then people started getting hurt, and they started escalating and things like that. So it kind of happened over a cap, but people from one side, people from the other side, and then kind of gangs kind of got a gang. Well, this gang kind of got formed, and it then started becoming a thing. And I kept on going in and out of prison. So I kept on coming out in and out of prison. When I'm coming out of prison, things were happening. We're having to do things. Things are happening over there. There's people running up in people's houses, shooting through the glass window, shot. Someone's lost their eye, and it's just ongoing. So on the back of that now, it's like there's no turning back. And that's kind of what's kind of formed, like, being from a certain area. So now we know, okay, cool, we're from this area, innit? You get me? And we got the younger generation. So you gotta understand, our younger generation probably with our younger generation ended up serving times as well. So they was like influenced by what we was doing. We was robbing Shakuko boxes. So we was motivated, everything that we was doing, going to country, selling drugs, robbing Shakuko boxes, funding gang activity. We was on the streets. So it's like, okay, cool, we're doing all of that, but we're funding gang activity, but we're on the streets to like protect our area or protect our name or protect our people. So it's like anything that happened to our people, we would act on it, and vice versa. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And that's how things kind of formed. And when I realized it, it all happened over a hat. And then obviously you go to prison, you evolve, you grow. In prison, you have multiple fights. I remember I was in a prison, and it was a DSM prison at the time. And I remember being in that prison and nearly fighting like nearly every other day till they just put me in the block for like 3 months. Like, the block is like solitary confinement, where basically you just don't have anything. You're just there, mattress. Luckily I had a CD player and I had the Alicia Keys album, Enemy of States. That was a banging album, by the way. I love that album. I love that album now. I know every word, every single track because I've flipping rinsed it every single day for 3 months. But on the flip side, it taught me to be strong-minded because this is how a lot of people lose their mind. And this is why I always tell the youth, listen, you see, prison is not built for most people because they come out with mental health. They can't. Like, you got to understand. It's strict. Get me? So being in the block for 3 months, I had to learn how to I learned to pray 5 times a day. I had to keep my mind occupied, chatting rubbish outside the windows. I was never really a reader. I couldn't read, so reading books was kind of difficult, but I would try. But everything was based on gang activity, just gangs, things happening. So you gotta understand, if someone does something to someone, but if you kind of clock it, most gangs happen from people falling out over girls, people falling out over something stupid. And if you ask the history of why an area and another area is warring, 9 times out of 10, they can't answer it. You get me? But the inheritance happens. You get me? Because for me, it's like I come out of jail, and obviously I see my friends evolving. A lot of people that man had issues with. It wasn't just DSM man had issues with. I had issues with like most of South London, like more down the southeast sides, not really more down southeast sides. You get me? And it was more me always just being loyal to my brethren. And then when I was in jail, I realized people's evolved, music, whatnot. So some of the people that had issues, people are friends. So I came out of jail like, listen, there was like, oh, I was the leader of my circle. So I was banned from the borough of Croydon and whatnot, all these things. You get me? So I couldn't do loads of things. So I had to evolve that way. But when I came out, when I saw things in prison, I realized, bro, like, I ain't coming out of prison to be in problems with no one. It's time to change my life. But what I'm explaining is, when you're in a gang and you do things years ago, people will never forget. You get me? And sometimes not everyone has evolved like you. So 20 years later, 25 years later, you could have done something to someone. That person could see you and have a knife on him and end your life. Man has to live that every single day. I have to live that. I have to tell my mother, I have to tell my mother, stop talking about me. I know you're proud, you're a proud son, you're a proud mother, but please, when you're in places, I don't want you to talk about me. Because the stuff that you've done back in the day is, people will actually harm your mum. They will harm your family. They will do these things. They will actively look for your family address. It happens. Do you know what I mean? And just because of you've changed in life doesn't mean that they've evolved. They haven't evolved. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And that is being in a gang. That's being in a gang. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So the question is, gangs form from sometimes being born in a certain area. So you have Brixton and Peckham, for example. They don't go to war like that no more. But at one stage, it was back and forth. It was crazy. Or you have different other areas. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're born in it. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And sometimes something little can happen where something's happened, and then sometimes someone can end up someone can end up being killed or unalived, and from that friend being killed and unalived from that person, now that whole area is problems for that whole area because it's just gone left. So it's like, and it's crazy, like, it's true. When it's like, oh, just drinking water, like, and there's no issues, but when you're in the same environment or you're in the same area, and you can be influenced as well. So it's like, the elders can groom you as well. Do you know what I'm trying to say? They can groom you into, that's the young G's. You get me? You have to bring the machine, or you have to do this, or go get there, or chill there, or you can learn from young of the fundamentals of how the roads go. So when you're street smart, or you've been conditioned, or not conditioned, you've been groomed from young to maybe go up the country, sell drugs and whatnot. Because these things happen, and not all these things are bad things, where it's like sometimes these things are just life experience of the product of your environment, of this is how man grew, this is how it was. You get me? We made it through, or we went to prison. This is just the area, this is how it was. You get me? So it's like, and I always say the street guys are always the worst off. So we gotta understand as well, and this is what happens to me, yeah? You do your time in prison, you come out of prison, you evolve, you change, you actually progress. People that was on the roads for so long, you end up doing well. You might end up, it might look like you're doing better than them. People don't like that. So where you're from is people do anything to keep you there and try to draw you out. I'm going through drawouts right now all the time. It's like, man's progressing. Like I was online where the whole internet didn't like me. And now I've seen that it's changed. And I'm so grateful. And I can't believe this is happening. I'm like, bro, I'm usually the villain. The villain. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And it's changed. But at the same time, I'm like, oh yeah, when is it going to change back? Because there's soon going to be something where they don't like me again because of the trauma that I've been through. But I've had to go through the jealousy and the trauma of the streets to now make that transition to being a legitimate person and going through this now. So the version that you see now of me is more of a defensive version. Like it's more defensive because it's like, bro, I didn't want to do this. But it was like, cause man was just getting attacked so much online, I was just like, fuck it, bro. Like, fuck it. Whatever. Like, in my head, I'm just like, fuck it, whatever. Like, I'm from the streets. Like, you may not think that I'm from the streets because you hear man say, Ackhiii, or you're my people, or you might have seen me roll with little man, so you just think man's unique. But I'm from the streets, and I'm just going to give you my opinion. If you don't like it, you don't like it. But it's the same fundamentals that I used to use from being on the streets anyway. I'm not gonna slip. I'm gonna walk on road. Do you know what I mean? People are on me anyway because of my past. And do you know what I'm trying to say? If people had the opportunity, then it doesn't change anything. So the reason why I'm saying that is like, I reckon if I was not in the gang, yeah, I will never. If I wasn't in the gang, I will never have to deal with what I deal with now. Do you know what I mean? I could be a normal person like, I don't know, Chunks, or, do you know what I'm trying to say? Just a normal streamer like, I don't know, flipping KSI but no, man has to deal with the street stuff. But the street stuff's made man more, I know how to adapt into things. I know how to deal with a situation. I can see certain things, or, do you know what I'm trying to say? So what I'm saying is, gangs just form from nothing. And usually gangs form from the most silliest things, like a gang war. Like, oh, why are you in this gang? Or how did this gang form? Because in school something happened, or there was a fight, and then, or everyone was together and this happened to this person, and then it just caused a rift. Or this girl was with this person and this person left this one, and it all happened over a female. Or that's what happens with gangs, and it's about understanding that. But now, the generation, we have gaming, we have streaming, we have being an artist, being an actor, being whatever. We have the internet. So remember, we didn't have that when we was growing up. We had youth clubs, table tennis. We didn't have smartphones. We didn't have YouTube. We didn't have none of that. So to make it then, it was like learn a trade. To make it now, it's like make YouTube videos, or talk to the camera, or start online course. Or it's so easier now. And what I'm seeing with the younger generation now is, bro, they're all doing very well from learning things online, whether it's crypto, whether it's AI, whether it's online, Amazon, FBA, whatever it is, whether it's drop shipping, like, and dumbing down. So the gang stuff is so played out and no one cares about it. Like, if you're in a gang, man, look at you like, ugh. Like, And you need to, as a younger generation, you need to be looking at any of your friends that are in the gang like, because there's no, listen, it's so hard to get out, like in terms of change your life around. So you see people that's in gangs, stay away from them, like seriously, because one day you see all the geeks and the nerds now, they all got all the money. They got all the money. They got all the money. The geeks and the nerds got all the money, and all the gang members wants the money like the geeks and the nerds. So if you look at the, like, being a streamer or a YouTuber, that's a geeky thing. That's what man's doing. A YouTuber, man was in the gang. Like, everyone wants to be a streamer or one of them people that are in something that pays them money, a music manager or something, a football agent. Understand this, and you'll see a lot of people that come from the streets that are trying to make that transition that pays the bills. And you will see the most baddest man will always try to push peace, or they've made that transition where it's like they just don't want to be there because they've seen their friends get 30 years, 40 years. They've seen some of their friends get unalived. And trust me, I have friends that's doing big 25 years life sentences. And when I speak to them, they are changed men. And you will have people that's on the streets, bro. You get me? And I'm telling you, they have that small mindset in their head of like, the way how they see life or whatnot. And they haven't, like, if their life got taken away from them and they got given 25 years and then they was in jail for 3 years, and one day they had that ultimatum, like, you can come out of prison, but you can't live in the UK, you can't have a phone, but you just have to live a normal life for the rest of your life, and X, Y, and Z, and you can't get in trouble. Like, will you take it? Of course they're going to take it. They're going to want their life back. But see, when you're in the gang as well, before I finish this off, bro, gang don't pay no bills, you don't own no property, so you're having an estate or thingy, like block beef or whatever, but you don't own no blocks. So it's just designed to, it's like a pride thing, and it's like poison. And remember, a lot of gang stuff can happen from friends doing well as well. One friend's doing well, that one set up that one's kidnapped that one. And these are the things that happen. So I hope I answered. I could talk about this for long, you get me? And it's sad why there is gangs. It's just area upon area, innit? And when something bad happens to someone, then so someone else wants revenge, and it just keeps on getting worse and worse and worse. And then, you know what I'm trying to say? Something could happen to someone's mum. Then it's like, you've actually done that to my mum. For the rest of my life, I'm going to get my get back. And then it's like, you get me? But anyway, this is my 7 a.m.s, man. Hope you lot are good. You get me? I can keep on going. So I feel good today. I feel okay. I'm going to go for a running club, 5K run, but just a running club. I've never done a running club that to link up with everyone, because I got social anxiety. So when there's so many people there, it's like, man's more of an introvert. So I like to just be with a couple people. But I said I'm gonna go there, link up with DMO and Hurricane and Trabs. So I thought, let me just go there forward and give them support. I know they're doing their running club. But anyway, guys, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, man. Peace.